So super early in the morning on a Saturday. I did not plan this, but I woke up and I had some crazy dreams, and I woke up and I thought, I bet it is early. And then I thought, I bet it's like 5. And I picked up my phone and it was actually 5 o'clock on the dot. So I thought, next thought was, I should do a reading. So here we are. So I guess maybe these are messages that are meant to be. This deck was the deck that was laying on me, and this Wild Offering deck, which I hadn't even got out yet. So what I'm going to do is shuffle these up to separate 3 piles, and then we're going to pull across whatever message you're needing to hear. I've been kind of guided to this is where more like a message on your current situation. So I don't know if this is maybe something that someone needs to hear. Kind of how this is going to be applied. So we're just going to get straight into it and see. So let's choose the piles here. Pile 1, please, Spirit. What does pile 1 need to hear? Pile 2. What does pile 2 need to hear? Pile 3. Pile 3. Hold on. I need to shuffle one more time. Pile 3. What does pile 3 need to hear? Okay. And then we're going to get some of these. These are called the Unshakable Inner Peace oracles. And these right here are the Wild Offering oracles. Pile 1, please, Spirit. Pile 2. What does pile 2 need to hear? And pile 3. What does pile 3 need to hear? Okay. Then I'm also going to pull a few charms to put on top. So I know how hard it is to, not for everybody, but I do know to read these intuitively. Pick a card is kind of more difficult. So let me get some charms that might help. Make my lighting a little better. This recording, I can tell, is going to be very off. Very uncoordinated. Okay, so let's get some charms for pile 1, Spirit. What's pile 1's charm? Okay. Y'all have Piglet. And Piglet's in the position to where she's thinking about something, so that's interesting. So we'll put that there. What about pile 2? Pile 2, Spirit. Oh, y'all have the shovel. Okay, so somebody may be working on something or just debating if they want to dig something up. Interesting. Okay, pile 3. Pile 3. Ooh, y'all have the key. So I'm already getting kind of a weird message. All these kind of are, to me, Piglet's thinking. You have the shovel, which is, you know, like what I said, indicator of if you want to dig something up, and then the key. So you have the key to this. So I do feel like, again, this is going to be about whatever situation you're in currently. So 3 piles here, guys. Pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. And I'll see you at your pile. Hey, pile 1. Okay, so if you chose Piglet here, that's in the thinking position, we all know, well, most of us, I guess, if we watch Winnie the Pooh at all, that Piglet was the one that was always constantly cautious about everything. She was always the one like, I don't know if this is a good idea. She was always the one that was kind of running around worried. And actually, I don't know if it was a she. Could have been a he. Could have been, you know, whatever it wanted to be. But I feel like you may be in a position to where you're kind of really thinking about something. I do notice that she is still smiling. So maybe this is a thought that kind of, in a way, brings kind of joy to you, but maybe also kind of, you're not sure if it's something that you should do or not do. Maybe it's the thought of it bringing joy to you as something that's really drawing you in. So let's see what we have here. So we're going to start with this one, and we have Anxiety isn't trying to limit you, but free you from a situation that no longer feels good. What is your discomfort trying to free you from? Number 24. So, holy freaking moly. That goes exactly with Piglet. The only thing is that this card doesn't really signify a feeling good, but it does say from a situation that no longer feels good. So, and it's funny too, because if you see the guy on here, which looks a lot like Justin Bieber, to be honest with you. Anyways, the way that he's holding his head, but he still has his hand up to the light, so hand up to spirit, you know, trying to figure out what situation or what decision to make. You see the clouds here, so he feels clouded. There could be two different decisions that could happen here. One seems a little bit more off than the other one. I feel like one decision that you're kind of sitting on here, a situation you could be moving towards, is maybe more of a situation that you don't really know how it's you're gonna have to kind of take a leap of faith there. You don't really know how that's gonna work out. Or you could kind of stay in this position that you're in. I do feel like you're sitting in a place to where you've been in this cycle and the emotions may be very high, very significant at this time, and something that you want to kind of change. I think that you want to kind of change the cycle that you're in. The number 24 here, 2 is that number of decisions. 4 is the foundation or stability. So you may be looking for a more stable place in your mindset with all these clouds. Together, that's 6. So 6 is that, you know, it's the lovers in tarot. It's also a choice. But it could also be that you're just trying to heal past something. And maybe there's a decision that you have to make in order to do that. Anxiety isn't trying to limit you, but free you. So this anxiety that you're feeling about making this decision in the future, or what the future would look like, is something that's actually trying to free you from the cycle that you've been stuck in. You know, it's almost like spirits insinuating that you use this emotion that you're feeling to help make this decision. From a situation that no longer feels good. So you could be stuck in a situation that doesn't feel the best. You know, it could be a situation where you know that you have to kind of make a move to make things better. And that's why you're stuck in this way that you're stuck in. What is the discomfort trying to free you from? So again, this is that image that kind of was getting up here, like that discomfort that you're feeling that's there for a reason, and it's kind of wanting you or almost pressuring you to address it, you know, to address it and to figure out how to get yourself out of that. Anxiety is a horrible thing, but it can also kind of tell us something. It kind of directs us in what it is that we need to kind of calm in our life, you know. What is something, sometimes it's something that can help us understand what it is that we need to balance. What's needing the balance there? You know, a lot of the times that's fear. So fear could be, which is anxiety to me, but could be holding you back from making this decision. Fear of what the outcome would be. You most definitely don't want to get into a place to where you make a decision that you end up worse on the other end. And I think that's part of what that anxiety is for you. I think that the unknown and you making things worse is what you're fearing. But there's also, and I have to say, I can't get over the fact that Piglet's smiling here. I do feel like there's a part of it, and it does say from the situation that no longer feels good, that it is trying to free you from that feeling and turning it into something that maybe does feel good. You know, would feel good. Hence that balance that we've kind of talked about. So, self-love. Show me how to love myself. Show me how to take care of the inner child. Show me how to be kind within. When you step into self-forgiveness, so much can change on the outside. So they're saying here a way to freeing yourself here would be whatever this is pertaining to have self-forgiveness. You know, that's where it starts, is forgiving yourself for whatever occurred, forgiving yourself for whatever choice maybe you made in the past or whatever situation you've ended up in and the choices you made to get to this, and going on from there. You know, you have to forgive yourself I feel, before you can kind of take that step towards forgiving others, forgiving the situation, for taking any kind of action, you have to have that confidence within that if there's something here that's done wrong and you feel like you were a part of that, kind of owning up to that, and then you have to forgive yourself for it. Just like you would forgive someone else for something they did wrong. You know, it comes from self first, because you can't offer it to someone else until you have it yourself, the understanding of it yourself, and feel in that comfortable place with it. Okay. I was going to pull some of these, but I heard those are for advice. So we're going to go ahead and get tarot, I guess. Spirit guides are kind of bossy sometimes. I'm not going to lie. You are. Okay, these, oddly enough, after having that crazy dream, I actually opened my drawer and I thought, well, what deck am I going to use? And this is the second one that I pulled. And the first one I thought would be a little bit too much for this reading, the images and stuff. So I was like, no, that one's too much. Opened my second drawer and pulled out this deck. And I thought, okay. And this is actually called the Dream Keeper's Tarot. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to move these to the side. I know there's a glare. I'm sorry, guys. I cannot get rid of that glare. Actually, let's do this, and then we know how much room we have. Okay, so what is it, Spirit? What is it for pile 1? What do they need to know about this? The Empress. The Empress. So you may be dealing with an Empress here, or this could just be you, and this could be representation of you stepping into this divine feminine energy. We did talk a lot about the emotions. So when I talk about the divine feminine, this could be, you know, you have that within all of us. I think pretty much we all know this if you're watching this reading at this point. The Six of Wands, wanting to have victory here. Tell me, go on with it. So I know I'm gonna take it. Oh, good grief! They said take the ones that I would get you. They're so bossy today. Okay, so this feminine, you know, the divine masculine and feminine is something we all have in us. I do feel like that this maybe is just representing that you're embodying this divine feminine energy, which it brings in all that emotion, right? And we talked about here, it's something that they want you to embrace because it's something that's going to help you to kind of make this decision. And it may be uncomfortable for you because it may be something that you're not used to being in. You may be more of a naturally and more of a masculine energy, more of or maybe at this time you just feel more comfortable being in that masculine energy. This could have to do with the fact that you may feel like that energy kind of helps protect you more. So you may be someone that has put up a lot of boundaries. You may be someone that has a hard time trusting others. Whatever position that you're in, I feel like they're wanting you to embrace this Empress energy overall. This also talks about new beginnings. So, you know, she bursts life into the world. And you may have a new opportunity here to have success on something that you're hoping and wishing for. But again, this fear here is kind of what's holding you back from kind of moving forward there. The fear of the unknown here. You may be in a position where you're really just trying to play it safe, and they're kind of wanting you to step outside of your comfort zone. I do feel like that there could be something that you're wanting to bring out into the open here with the Six of Wands. You're wanting to kind of, you know, either express yourself with the situation that you're in, or I feel like there's just this recognition that you want to have, you know, put something out there into the open around others. You may be very afraid about how others are going to kind of take this, or someone else that's around you. I think that you may be worried about conflict here. You have these 5 wands that are in front of her, and she's holding the 1 wand. So I do feel like that you may be kind of prepared for, for conflict here in some kind of sense. Or there may be some conflict that you're having to kind of defend yourself on. But there's definitely, with the star here, you know, you have hope. I feel like you also feel this inspiration to do this. And again, we talked about how he has his hand up here to the light. So, and I said, and you have the clouds down here at the bottom too, as well. And on top of her head, she has that sailboat on top of her head. It's almost like the Six of Swords, like you moving into a calmer direction. I think that's what they talked about here as well. You kind of moving into a calmer place. You know, we do have the color pink that's coming out here. Pink is kind of representing, for me, I believe, pink is like the color of, I want to say it's kind of the color of calming, nurturement, really embodying that feminine kind of energy, that loving kind of energy. That's what I'm getting from this. I do feel like there's more that pink represents. I want to say that pink may be that color of the inner child, but I could be off with that. It's been a while since I've looked at my color meanings. I guess I need to brush up on that. Okay, so let's see what about the Empress here. What's the Empress here? We have the Eight of Cups. So you could have walked away from someone here. When you walk away with the Eight of Cups, there's still an acknowledgement that you have these emotions that are still here that you're kind of walking away from. But you could have also walked away from a situation that you felt like wasn't good for you, a situation that you felt like didn't make sense. You know, this is someone that walks away and abandons something that they have emotions with. So you could have walked away from an Empress energy, a divine feminine kind of energy, someone that maybe continuously kind of their ghost of them, the ghost of walking away from them, maybe something that constantly follows you. Yeah, you may still feel this person around you. She has, even though she's has her head turned, she has this skull's hand that's holding her shoulder. Like, you just feel this person maybe constantly. There's an hourglass in her hand. You may have had to walk away to heal. You know, you may have had to walk away to give yourself time. You may be trying to give this Empress energy time, if this is someone else, to kind of heal before you kind of approach this situation. But maybe your emotions, again, were just very high in this sense, and you had to kind of allow yourself time to kind of just walk away for a little while. Not that you were going to abandon this forever, but maybe there was some kind of, you know, it's a bad situation that you're walking from. So you turned your back on something that you felt like was a disappointment in some sense. So tell me about the Six of Wands. But it doesn't feel good. We talked about that here in the beginning. It doesn't feel good, you know, that happened. So you have the Page of Swords. So this is that communication coming through. This is you wanting to communicate a truth here and bring something out into the open and have recognition about what you maybe possibly your truth is here. I think that you also want to listen to see what the other person may have to say about this, because she is holding her ear, even though she's holding that sort of truth that's there. But you're also standing, you feel like, in a place to where you're on you're on a place to where there is a lot of emotion around you, and it's going to be very hard for you. And this is part of what's coming to the surface in this reading that you need to address, is these emotions. It's going to be hard for you not to feel these emotions. And so it's almost like you have to find that sturdy ground, because whenever this kind of transpires, I feel like it's something that you can very easily kind of step into that emotional space too much really quick. This is maybe something that you're just worried about. You know, this is part of what that fear is. This is where that fear is kind of coming up, whether you've kind of felt that, kind of connected those dots or not. That's what they're saying here, is that's what's part of that fear that's coming up there as a result of. And we're going to get some more tarot, I guess, for that. Tell me about the Star. This is something that's been leading up to this point for you internally. It's like it's been an internal process. Okay. I did a little shindig on my arm and fell on the floor. So we have the King of Wands here. Okay, so you again, this is a very significant energy of you feeling positive, trying to feel hopeful, in moving in this direction, staying open to the best outcome possible. And again, it's representing that you feel kind of inspired or driven to do this, because I think that this is something that, you know, it's almost like I heard determined to get to the bottom, okay? Determined to get to the bottom. So this could be something that's really been messing with your mind space for a long time, and you've just had to kind of collect your thoughts and kind of work through those thoughts. Even though I'm not seeing a whole lot of swords here, we actually have everything out on the board. We have the wands, the swords, the cups. Well, we don't have the pentacles, but we're not talking about, well, besides the grounded thing. So this is definitely something that you feel like Spirit's kind of pushing you towards, that's in your emotions, and you needing to kind of work all that out internally in your mind. And I think that you've reached that point here with this King of Wands showing up. We have Taurus, Aquarius, Aries or Leo, Sagittarius energy. Tell me about the Two of Wands in reverse. It's almost like you've got to this point to where you're hopeful and you want to kind of take some kind of action, and then you get to here. And this is where you're kind of blocked. Yeah, Judgment. Woo. Scorpio energy. This just took my breath away in a way. Libra's coming out for me. So the Two of Wands in reverse, again, is you kind of wanting to kind of plan something, wanting to make that decision that we've talked about here. But this is fear of facing judgment. So again, with this self-forgiveness that's here, there's parts on your side of recognizing some possible things that maybe you've done here that weren't so great either. And facing that judgment, I think, is something that you're very worried about. And that's why you're afraid of things changing moving forward, again, which is something we talked about here. When you do put your truth out there into the open. I mean, these are two cards of decisions, and this is your blockage here. Being afraid of putting your truth out there. So let's get some more detail here. Tell me about the Eight of Cups. You have the Three of Wands. So again, this Three of Wands, she's looking in this direction, just like the Eight of Cups lady was looking in this direction. So I think, for me, this is, you were trying to, I think, gain more confidence about these emotions that you feel and kind of what's going on with that. You know, like when you have a situation that takes place, and especially if it's something that comes across very quick, and then you sit in a place to where your emotions are just scattered, right? You feel like everything at one time. Well, we're adults, so we can't really make a tantrum like a 2-year-old would do, you know, when they feel all the emotions in their little bodies, don't know how to control them. As adults, you know, we look at things like that, and if we're capable, we say, well, we need to have this Eight of Cups. I need to walk away from this for now so that I can kind of focus on what I need to focus on and gather my thoughts and gather how I internally feel about this, spiritually even feel about this, and kind of settle those things in, and then we'll come back to this later at a later time. Yeah, Six of Swords in reverse. Knowing that there's still unfinished business here, you know, this is coming back to it at a later time, right here, the Six of Swords. It's like you have to think if it's something, I think that maybe some of you are thinking, is this something that I can let go of? Is this something this person can let go of? To continue moving on here. Page of Swords. The Eight of Swords in reverse. Again, you know, this is you not letting anxiety hold you back any longer. This is knowing that, yeah, this has been extremely difficult, but I want to free myself from this. I want to face the fears. I want to face my truth that I'm holding, and I want to bring this out into the open with that Six of Wands. So this is like that boiling point, right? But I don't feel anger or anything here. It's just, it's almost like now with the dust just kind of settled a little bit, you feel like maybe this is something that you know needs to be addressed because it hasn't gone anywhere internally. You feel better than you did, that's for sure, with the Star and the King of Wands. Tell me about the King of Wands. Strength in reverse. This is going to take a level of vulnerability, which is something that we've already addressed. You know, I think that you're realizing that this is part of your weakness, is the vulnerability that this is going to like entail for you to kind of move forward here. We have Leo energy here, but there's a little bit of doubt, I feel like, that kind of goes into. This is kind of a strange energy, to be honest with you, because you have all this hopefulness that's behind you with the Star and the King of Wands, someone that's really driven to do what they want to do. And then you have this here sitting on top of it, which is someone that's going against the grain. It's like you're remaining hopeful even though you're doubting the situation. It's that balance, you know, that you're kind of searching for here. It's almost like you know that that's your weakness, is anxiety. Wow, yeah. You know that that's your weakness, and you're having to step into this King of Wands energy, which is a very strong and very, well, very fiery kind of energy there, very determined energy that everything's going to work out for the best. You have to step into this energy in order to get yourself past this self-doubt, past this insecurity about anxiety. So these two right here are you overcoming those fears, overcoming, you know, that doubt that you feel internally. And another way to that is forgiving yourself, you know, first. And maybe some of you have already done that. This is just a reminder to keep that in mind moving forward, that you've forgiven yourself for this. And it's kind of almost behind you. It just needs to be addressed in the 3D world, you know, needs to be addressed in physically and grounded. So you have to, you know, think about the way that you've settled things in your mind, but then this is a situation to where now you have to kind of settle it in the reality. So, and apparently that has to do with you, with judgment, laying it down to rest. Judgment, please. It's judgment, please. Tell me about judgment, please. The Nine of Cups. Ultimately, the ending of this, you do realize that when you do, either way, when you bring this out, it's almost going to be that release of air, you know? Like you can finally like exhale and just release this. And hopefully find your happiness here again. See how she's pulling these butterflies out of her insides? This is what I'm feeling here. You pulling that transformation that you have internally to the outside. This is your wish here, to be able to speak your truth. What is that truth? Tell me more about that. Judge. The Five of Pentacles. I mean, this is something that for me can go either way because the Five of Pentacles did come out completely sideways. So maybe at some point, obviously with this Eight of Cups, something that you've left in the dark. You've maybe been feeling kind of like you either left someone in the cold or you felt left in the cold or both. And it's something that you want to release yourself from or get out of. You know, you want to have a positive change here moving forward. Whatever situation that is that you're in. Okay, so let's get some advice. There's that Two of Swords in reverse. There's that indecisive energy that's here. With that Ten of Wands, which is that burden that you're carrying in the Knight of Wands. The Four of Wands, that's that reunion energy. The Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, you're needing a break mentally from this, and I think that you're aware of that. And I think that it's time, and I think that you feel like you know it's time. Interesting on these cards here, guys. I'm going to point this out real quick. So you have this feminine energy here, which is could be this Empress energy that we talked about, who has these wands behind her. And then you have the masculine energy here that's rooted to the tree. So again, I do feel like that you are this masculine energy, this King of Wands energy that's here. This could be also someone that you're hoping for as well. You're hoping that things kind of work out here for you. But either way, how this resonates, you do feel grounded in this sense. You feel like this part of you is more sturdy, more grounded in making a decision moving forward. And again, like these Five of Wands, you feel like there's going to be this conflict here, or there could be conflict here, which is another reason I think that you're kind of procrastinating this decision here moving forward. Not that you've procrastinated, that you've had to kind of go away from this so you could figure things out. That's all. The Knight of Wands is you coming in with that, you know, communication. And it's interesting on this one because there's two people here. One is behind him holding a rose, offering a rose, and the other one is in his armor holding that wand of fire. So it's like, again, it's like you're ready for anything here. You're ready to be compassionate, offer the rose to someone, or you're ready to have your guard on. Again, we talked about those boundaries and not knowing if you can kind of trust this situation. There may be other people here that are involved in this situation somehow. I can't get over that with this Six of Wands, you have two people here that are looking in on this. You also have two people here that are looking in on this. There may have been another outside influence here in this whole thing, whatever situation this is. The Ten of Wands is representing you facing that, you know, that burden that you've been carrying, facing it. But this right here with this Two of Swords, also this is about kind of a truth that's kind of being revealed, which is what we're talking about here really. But you making that decision, it's like you're still indecisive or confused if you should kind of bring that information to the surface or not. But you know that you're going to, because you have this burden that you're carrying, and that burden I don't feel like it's kind of gone anywhere here for you. That Four of Wands is upright, so you're wanting that reconnection. You know, you're wanting to kind of have harmony and peace here. Okay, so now let's get some of these that I wanted to get before they shut me down. And I'm just going to get advice after this, guys. And we're going to get some charms and some initials to close. What do you have here for me? What advice? Oh, look at this. Awesome. So you have community here. This is, you know, in the dark forest, in the darkness, there's still that rainbow. In the darkness, you can still find peace. You can still find harmony. You can still transform this with all these butterflies. Now remember this card here. How awesome is that? Look at that. You have all these butterflies. They're all headed in the same direction too. I think this is kind of indicating that, yeah, this community, as in you reuniting, you hear unity is in community, you know, you having this union here, this reunion, if you will, or coming together, to pulling yourself out of the darkness here. You could transform this thing if you wanted to, and I think that you're well aware of that you have like this power with the King of Wands to do this, to transform this. Anything else? Anything else missing here? Yeah, okay. So we have embracing, yeah. So you embracing these emotions is a big part of this, being able to stand still in these emotions that you feel. It's like they're saying that you're ready now, and you don't need to be afraid of that, because you are stable and secure in your feelings and how you feel now about this situation. You can stand strong here so that you can purify this with this white bird, you know, looking into the future here, looking into the distance, knowing that this is going to be an obstacle that you just need to overcome. But you've done this reflection on yourself, and you've reached this point to where it's time for the sun to shine through. It's time for the sun to come. It's time for clarity to take place. Enlightenment. So there's a message here that you could be kind of enlightened about this situation in some kind of way. There's something here, I think, under the surface of this cloudedness that will help kind of put you into a calmer place. And again, you're seeing this cell ship, the Six of Swords energy, which did come out in the reading. I didn't keep it, but when I was talking, if y'all remember, it did come out. And that's been kind of a repetitive thing, the Six of Swords energy here, that cell ship moving on to calmer waters. There's something here that maybe you're unaware of that's going to help you to kind of move to that calmer place. And you notice the ship is going upward, like into the stars, and you have the star here, into this hopefulness, letting the light come through, you know, having a blessing out of this coming to a more calmer place here for you, releasing that burden. Okay, so I'm going to obviously get a postcard from Spirit. Can't leave without that. And then we'll get some charms and initials. Give me a good one here, Spirit, for pile 1. Thank you. That was fast, right when I said it. Okay, let's see. You are a divine beauty. Dear you, the simple yet powerful law of cause and effect means that everything is in relationship. Every action on earth has a consequence. And even in the spirit world, there are consequences for every action taken on your behalf. Right now, you're facing conditions that were set into motion by past decisions. Consequences are coming into being in your favor. They will remind you that making good choices and listening to your intuition pays off. If some things are a little off and uncertain, know that whatever you're facing, you can step beyond it just by using your imagination and acting on that instead of reacting to what is being presented. Everything you think and do has far-reaching reverberations in the web of life. Move to higher ground and have faith that what goes around comes around. The universe is always self-correcting anyways. Isn't that amazing? How we adore you. So that couldn't have been any more perfect for this reading. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Not a whole lot left to say there, huh? Yeah, so whatever decisions, and again, this goes back to this forgiving yourself here, having love for self, just like you would for anyone else, you know, forgiving yourself first and knowing that, you know, past decisions, you have to have those consequences that come in for that. But it does say that this is going to come into being for your favor. It also goes to say that listening to your intuition would be something that pays off. And you need to step beyond whatever it is that you're facing here. And this is a call for you to step beyond this fear, which is a process that I think you're already in. It's just, you get to hear when the actual judgment comes to the surface. That's the part that's such a struggle. The words coming out of your mouth, you know what I mean? Like, you get that part built up. That's the part that's bringing you anxiety. But you can overcome that because you know that you can embrace a new beginning. You can be enlightened and move to a calmer place after that. And listening to your intuition here and moving forward in that way. Okay, so let's see if we can get two charms here to close. Only got 3. Only got 3 charms, so that's fine. And y'all have all these characters. Look, now you have Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. Look at that. And they're back to back, guys. This could most definitely be someone that's a close friend. This could be someone that you're, a relationship. You're just in a relationship, I feel like, of some sort with this person. Whoever this is, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet were bestest of friends. And you may have your back turned towards this person now. It's almost like you're both smiling. And this person has their hands behind their back like they're waiting here. That's that energy of Piglet just sitting there waiting, and Piglet is someone that makes impulsive, bad decisions. He does. He's wearing that red shirt, red flag coming at you. But he's also extremely sweet, extremely loving, extremely like a nurturing big bear, and all he wants is honey. That's it. He's just wanted some sweetness in his life. But sometimes they put him in bad situations. This could have been the situation here with this person and how this has kind of ended up. So you have the little minion here that's holding his little vial of goodness. So this is that healing aspect for me. It's like you have the vial here to inject this healing aspect. Again, here too, you have this dragon represents, to me, it's like the heart chakra with all this green. But having that King of Wands come out, it's like that impulsiveness, that fire on your heart to kind of be open and move things in a positive direction, I feel like is here. But it's not coming aggressively. This is a sweet dragon that's just sitting there because it's coming from the heart. And they're saying here to embrace that. Make sure that this is something that's coming from the heart. And you intuitively feel that anyways. The message that comes needs to come from your heart space and what you've managed to clear out in your head. Okay. So we have Y, V, we have X. This could be having to do with an X. I mean, I can't get past the 2 X's that are here, but this is also about you making that decision, right? You making that decision to move forward and being at that crossroads. We have W, R, Y, E, O, and I. So I don't know what all we can spell here. Some of these may be just significant to you, may mean something to you here. These could be initials, or these could just say something that you were looking for. You have or. So this makes me want to say, always remember, if you start to have anxiety, it could go that way. Or it could go absolutely wonderful. And maybe focus on that, focus on that space. Fear comes from the same nerves part. It does the same thing to your body as excitement. So sometimes we just have to trick our brains into the positive or more exciting aspect of it. So what can you pull out of this that would be exciting for you? Well, the harmony, the peace, moving into a calmer place, releasing those wands that you've been carrying, that burden, how great it could be, and kind of focus on that and allow your nerve system, your body, to feel what that would feel like, because it's a much better place for you to be in. We could have worry if we had 2 R's. but we don't. But this, I mean, just I want to say this is definitely something that you've been worried about. I don't know what else we could spell here, guys. So I guess I'm going to leave y'all here. We have row. I have row like that too. Yeah, and it made me think about like rowing to a calmer place, you know, like, okay, I'm going to leave this here. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope this helps, guys, moving forward. And thanks for being here. Thanks for your love, guys. Thanks for your support and your kindness and everything. I appreciate you guys so much. And I love all the comments and stuff that y'all leave. And if I don't answer them right away, I always try to go back and make sure that I do. So if I haven't, I will get back to you. If you sent me an email, I haven't got back to you yet, I will. I promise. I have like a certain day that I sit down and just do all that when I'm not busy. So hang in there. And if you want a personal reading from me, my information for that's in the description box. And I'm open to that right now so far. And yeah, that's all I have. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for your love and your support and your kindness always. And I hope to see you soon. Hey, pal 2. So I apologize for my cat. This is George. He had many different names when he was first born. My kids finally settled on George randomly. I don't know, it's weird, but here's George. I guess I'm gonna let him stay here for a minute. So if y'all chose the shovel, and you know, this to me is kind of representing you bringing something up from the past, maybe digging something up, digging up something. But it could also be you wanting to work on something, you know, you putting in the work on something that you're possibly wanting, or you're wanting to understand, even since we're talking about a situation that you're in. But definitely I immediately right off the bat got that, you know, you wanting to kind of dig something up, or something being dug up. Okay, so we're gonna get this one here first. We have, you cannot make a mistake. There are infinite possibilities available to you. Where is your heart guiding you? This is the number 3. So you may be standing in a position to where you're wanting to take some kind of a leap, you know, moving forward, and worried that you're going to make the wrong choice. I mean, there's a message here that whatever's meant for you, you can't pass by. Okay, you might pass it up until you're ready, but it will always come back around to you if it's meant for you. You cannot make a mistake. It's almost like Spirit's wanting you to know that if you feel kind of stuck and you're afraid to move on past something, what they're saying here is that it's okay to move on past that. It's okay to work on whatever it is that you want to work on, and leave whatever else is behind, and continue to work on yourself and continue to grow. With their infinite possibilities available to you, where's your heart guiding you? Really focus in on where your heart is guiding you. What direction is your heart kind of wanting you to go, or telling you would be the best place for you? As far as how far you've grown, you may have to dive into your emotions when it comes to, you know, being able to make a choice of which direction that you want to take here. And that's probably somewhere you need to go in order to make that decision the best decision for you at this moment in time. You know, you could have been, this could be you just digging up something from the past and kind of diving into that. And you may have kind of hesitated to do that, to bring that back up. You may have thought that maybe it's something that you've already healed from. And there's an idea around that saying that, you know, there's always healing work, isn't there? There's always going to be more and more healing work. And I think that you're well aware, if your heart's pulling you in that direction, there's things there that you need to be readdressing, and that you need to dive deep in to those emotions to feel those, so that you can get to a more stable place. Sorry about my dogs, guys. so that you can go re-explore that in this place that you're in now, because I do feel like there's a lot of growth that's took place here with you. And I think this will help purify your energy. I think this will help you get to a calmer place. I do feel like some of you are like in a place to where something keeps resurfacing, you know, like you keep having to dig something back up as far as your healing goes. And you may think that I didn't heal right, or I didn't work on that like I should, or, you know, why is this coming back up in this way? Sometimes spirit kind of, we feel those things, even if they look the same, if the emotion feels the same, sometimes they come back up because we've grown. So we'll be able to go through those emotions and see them in a different way because we've evolved. And there's something here, I think, maybe that you need to dig up, that you need to kind of work on, that they're saying if you just dive into it, just dive into this healing part and allow yourself to just feel it, you're going to see things in a different way. And it may be the last, you know, step towards being able to release this, whatever this is, fully that you've been holding on to. And they're saying there are no mistakes. You haven't made a mistake here as far as your healing goes. You can't make a mistake when it comes to healing. There's so many different possibilities of how you can heal. None of them are wrong. None of them are wrong. But making that decision to finally take that leap and go towards that is part of it. Okay, so we have mistakes. Wow. The synchronicities in these cards are just crazy. You cannot make a mistake. Mistakes, guys. Wow. Allow me to know it's okay to make mistakes. Let me always take care of the inner child so that he or she feels loved no matter what. This is about, I feel like you feeling as, okay, you may have made a significant mistake in your life or feel like you've made a mistake. There's indication here that a lot of that comes from, I think that you may be blaming yourself for certain things, and that might be part of what needs to be dug up and needs to be healed and processed. And you notice here it does say, let me always take care of the inner child so that he or she is loved no matter what. You know, I think one of the most significant things that can help you to move forward, to have confidence in yourself, and even though you've made mistakes in the past, is we can say, you know, you grow from that and everything else. But a vision that you could have is picturing yourself as a child. And if you were your own child's parental, you know, and put yourself in the same circumstance that whatever mistake was made here. How would you react to that child? You know, this is someone you love and care about, and you will show compassion for. You wouldn't be reacting to that child in a way that's negative. You would give that child forgiveness and embrace them and tell them it's going to be okay. You know, you're going to make mistakes. That's how you grow. You're going to love on that child. And that's like what this is telling you to do. You know, as adults, we kind of lose that. We kind of forget, in a way, what it's like having that innocence. But we all still have kind of that innocence. Even if we're adults, because we're all still growing. We're still learning. We're still going through life, and it just gets more difficult. But we're still always have that little inner child in us that's, you know, it's going to make mistakes. And forgiveness has to take place in front of that. But you also have to go through and heal. And heal past that. And I think that you may be blaming yourself for decisions or something that you've done in the past. But you have to allow yourself to make those mistakes and then allow yourself to go through the healing of coming out of that, forgiving yourself. Okay. Okay, so let's get some tarot. This is the Dream Keeper's Tarot. Yeah, I keep hearing blame, 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 blame in my head. Blaming yourself for mistakes that you've made in the position that you're in. Wherever you are, you're meant to be in that place. Even if it doesn't feel good right now, you just have to choose to let things go. You have to choose to forgive yourself so that you can be in a better place for yourself. Okay, pile 2, let's get into this. What do you have for pile 2, Spirit? Oh man, George made my nose itch with all his hair. Oh, the Tower, wow. The Ace of Wands. For some of you, you may be afraid of making a mistake. I don't know, I feel like this is future energy for me. I'm going to keep going and get some more out before I keep talking. There's a significant kind of change that's taking place here. You may be you don't know which kind of direction to take here. There's lots of major arcana here, guys. The Tower, the Ace of Wands, the Chariot in reverse, the High Priestess in reverse. The Ace of Swords in reverse. Holy cow. Some of you may have took an opportunity here off of, maybe even a creative opportunity here. Something that you decided to venture into here. There's a real childlike energy I'm getting from this. Like a real playful kind of energy. Something that you wanted to kind of, I mean, the Ace of Wands is something that you feel this urgency, or, you know, this driven, passionate spark of wanting to go and do something. This could have been a passionate new beginning that even you had with someone. Having that opportunity to do that. I think that you lost control in that situation. And I think that there's a silence that's here now, or secrets that are being kept. Where you have a lack of harmony about things that are unspoken here. And again, with the Ace of Swords in reverse. And there's a cloud of judgment here that goes into it about the truth. To have the Ace of Swords and the High Priestess both in reverse, these are two cards of keeping things to yourself, of not expressing the truth, not having clarity. And you lost yourself. I think that you lost yourself in a situation. With the Tower being here. Let's get some more. The Tower, please. Death. Double Scorpio energy here. I also have Cancer, Pisces. With Death in the Tower, this is a very, very, very significant change. Something that came in very abruptly and ended very abruptly. It's like that tower came crashing down, right? And this could even look in the way of this could have been an ending in a relationship that happened very, very suddenly. Something was very destructive here that changed everything. You could have ended a relationship here that you feel like may have been a mistake. Or you could have went towards a relationship here, took that opportunity, but it was driven by maybe desire or passion, and that could have been that mistake. I just feel like this is a very abrupt, quick, maybe even destructive, chaotic ending. And you feel is to blame. You feel somehow to blame here. Why is the Ace of Wands here? The Six of Swords in reverse. You're having a hard time letting go of this hope for a new beginning after this ending took place. That's what this is. It's like she's looking in that keyhole. She's waiting for that to be finished, you know, for that potion to be ready. You know, it's almost kind of in a way, though, that you're resisting what has already changed. It's like you're hoping for another opportunity here for things to kind of get to a calmer place, but then there's all this unknown energy that's here. Why is the Chariot in reverse? It's almost like you're thinking if this situation was a mistake because it didn't work out in the way that you anticipated. So you have the Hermit in reverse. This is heavy, heavy rejection here. This is someone that could have ended things very abruptly and turned away. This is maybe what we talked about in the beginning. This could be what keeps resurfacing for you to kind of dive deep into heal, that you keep thinking, I thought I've healed past this. There's a part of this where you're still kind of hopeful for this new start that you're kind of holding on to. There's so much major arcana here. This is something in your life that changed things very, very significantly in your life, or had a very big impact on your life. I think there's it's almost like you can't get past the rejection or the loneliness that you feel. You know, it's like someone needing to kind of go into hermit mode, but you're missing the truth. You feel like you're missing a truth and you're having a hard time going through. I'm feeling somebody here that, you know, the Ace of Wands could also be that healing aspect. Because the Wands is representing, you know, spirit as well. So it's almost like you want to heal past this. You want to heal past this very abrupt ending that took place here. But when things happen abruptly in this way with the Tower, some things, you know, the change happens, but then other things kind of come out later. It's like, think about that tower going down and then having to go re through the rubble and figure out why the tower came down in the first place. It's kind of like when you have a fire and they have to come in and figure out where the fire started. This is that process, you know, with this Ace of Wands. It's almost like you want to get to a calmer place here. You want to heal past this. There's a lack of information that's here. And it's almost like you lack direction to be able to go into that hermit mode and heal out of this, because you don't have the truth. You don't have the answer that you're looking for. You know, the hermit has that lantern that he holds, the truth of a situation, so that he can venture into that truth now that he has that truth or that knowing, and he can kind of figure everything out about it, looking for answers, reflecting on it, and having that introspection of the truth. This is something you don't have, and so you're sitting in a place to where you lack direction. I don't know which direction to take because I don't have the truth. And this is something that's keeping you very stuck. And this blame that you put on yourself is also something that's keeping you very stuck. You know, you have this blame that you've just placed upon you because you lack the truth in a situation. So the only person you have to really, or the only person that you're really looking at, this isn't everybody's circumstance, but I think, Paul, too, you're doing a very good job of being able to look at yourself in this situation, but I think maybe you're doing it almost too much because you do lack clarity. So it's turning into kind of, you're blaming yourself for the situation that you're in. Even when you go through healing and those emotions come up again, it's like you blame yourself for hoping for a new beginning, or hoping for things to get calmer, or hoping for the unfinished business here to come out and be cleared. That's where part of that blame is coming from. Like, why do you keep kind of hoping for this? And it's just never going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, you're blaming yourself for your own emotions. It's very unfair. But it's coming from a place of a lack of clarity as well. It's not that you don't want to heal. Tell me about, that kind of goes along with here too, is there's infinite possibilities are available to you. It's almost like Spirit saying you don't have to have that truth to go on that journey and reflect. Sometimes we don't get it, guys. It sucks and it's hard to say, but sometimes we'll just never get the actual truth of a situation. You know, hopefully one day when we pass on and transition, we get up there and they'll be like, here you go, here's your story, parts you didn't know. That's what I'm hoping for. It's like a book you can read about your life and you can go, oh my gosh, wow, that's crazy. You know, like, there it is, right there. I've been wondering that my whole life, literally. Sometimes it sucks. We just will never find out the truth about it. But we can't let it affect how we see ourselves. We can't let those mistakes that we've made affect who we are by blaming ourselves. You know, you have to give yourself security in who you are and knowing that you make mistakes and that, yeah, I make mistakes, but I know how to heal past those mistakes. I know how to forgive myself and move forward. Sometimes that's all you have. Tell me about the High Priestess in reverse. But you have to have that knowing that that is all there is, so that you can move forward and not be so stuck on hoping that this unfinished business will be coming to the surface. So you'll get a new opportunity here to resolve this. 3 Pentacles. I didn't ask for this card, so I'm trying to figure out why they actually gave it to me. I'm looking at, it's funny how one person here has the butterfly and the sword. And the other person has the moth. And there's a reflection. The moon is in the middle, but it's closed inside of the jar. 2 pentacles here, 1 pentacle here. There's someone here that's around you that whatever this is, I think if this has to do with someone else and not having the truth of that, this person's still kind of working on that themselves. They're still balancing, they could be balancing different areas of their life. They could be trying to just find balance in their life. But they're more in the shadow side, okay? I think I think that y'all have transformed here more because y'all are the ones that have the truth sword. Yeah, it's funny you have the Ace of Swords here. But both of you are in reflection, a reflective stage. You haven't unlocked everything yet. You know, the High Priestess, there's things, information that's not been exposed for sure. But you have your sword of truth. You have opportunities to be able to move forward with and have a new beginning for yourself. This person here is still in this place of working on these things. They're still in the shadows, guys. They're still figuring things out. I don't want to put that there. You know, but the Three of Pentacles, it also talks about learning and keep going and being on the right track when it comes to, you know, I feel like working on your healing. I feel like whatever it is in your life that you're building for yourself, to keep kind of going on that, to keep learning and just keep growing. Tell me about the High Priestess in reverse. Four of Pentacles. I mean, this is about you controlling this information, I feel. I feel like you're holding on tight to whatever information that it is that you do have. You're definitely not expressing yourself about things, or this other person that's in this mix here is not expressing their self. They're putting up boundaries. They're closed off from you. And this is part of what you don't understand or don't know why. With the High Priestess in reverse. Someone that's probably silent around you or setting up these boundaries around you and not knowing the reasons, not knowing why, you know, this rejection has kind of took place here, is something that keeps you stuck in limbo. Tell me about the Ace of Swords in reverse. A Queen of Pentacles in reverse. It's almost like you haven't been able to really speak your truth here about yourself. It's almost like you haven't been able to speak what it is that you want to speak on your reality or your truth in a situation. Not being able to do that. I mean, this is someone here for me that you're having a hard time understanding why someone's not giving to you in any kind of way. For some of you, now this may sting a little, so take a deep breath, hear me out. Part of the blame that you're putting on yourself here is that you feel like whatever decisions you've made in the past that you feel like were mistakes, were you being more selfish in that circumstance, and that's where that blame comes in. But what they're saying here is there's a little bit of cloudiness that kind of goes into that. You're unclear about that being selfish, that decision or that truth that you have, or you may look at this other person like they're being selfish for holding a truth internally. But I feel like, well, I want to focus on this healing part of yourself, okay? And this is what this is for me. I think that you're blaming yourself because you feel like maybe you were being selfish. And you just wanted this relationship, or you wanted this experience, or you wanted this opportunity. And kind of reliving that in your mind over and over about making that choice and how it's kind of, where it's kind of placed you. And maybe that was a selfish thing, you know, that you did. And putting that blame on yourself. Even if you do feel that way, and even if that's true, forgiveness of self still needs to take place. Allowing yourself to make those mistakes is still something that needs to take place. We all do things for selfish reasons. All of us, sometimes. We all do things for selfish reasons. You're not different. I hate to tell you this, Paul, too, but you're not different from anybody else. We all do it. And I just feel this heavy, heavy blame that you're putting on yourself. And you could have been the one that ended a relationship. And you could be like, maybe I did that for selfish reasons. You know, or this could be someone that you're looking at. But I feel like this is more self-focused. Let's talk about death. Death, what's death here? The Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups, to clarify death, is kind of different. Making that decision, you know, you could have felt like maybe you were living in a dream world, and eventually that tower was going to come crashing down. You could feel like that whole thing was just too overwhelming, and you had to make this choice. If this is coming from something else, yeah, that's, my ear started ringing when I said that, guys. You may have felt very overwhelmed with whatever tower was taking place at the time, and you had to make a decision to make a change, and that's something that's also been weighing on you. And maybe you were doing that for selfish reasons, and you weren't doing it for selfish reasons, I don't feel like. I think that with the Seven of Cups, this is someone that's very overwhelmed and has a lot of different decisions at hand. And if this is you that caused the tower, or that had the death take place, you know, had the ending that took place, letting go of a situation because it was too overwhelming. I mean, I feel like you were looking, I think that you were looking out for your own interest. I think that you were right about being selfish, but you were doing it in a way of protecting yourself from the disaster that was going on with the tower. But I do feel like for some of you, there is the choice that you made regardless. Or maybe this was someone else, that if this is for you and someone else ended things here with you, then they felt overwhelmed. And blaming yourself for maybe making this person feel overwhelmed. There's just a lot of blame that I'm feeling here, guys. Tell me about the Six of Swords in reverse. The Eight of Pentacles in reverse. 6, 7, 8. This is something that I think this tower came to a head, as far as, I don't think it came in and just was like, it was sudden, but it was like building up to this point, I feel. Okay, so there's a call here to give yourself a break. Okay, so definitely something that's coming through, to cut yourself some slack. I think that you've been really hard on yourself. It's like we talked about here. Every time that you feel like all these emotions come up and you feel like you have to go back and heal and you think, gosh, I've already done that. What if it's just you feeling those emotions just to feel them so that you can release them? You know, those emotions come up inside of us, but they need to be released. That toxicity needs to come out, needs to be out of yourself. This mistakes that were made, blame, shame, even second guessing decisions you've made in the past and how things kind of worked out. All this is things that you need to feel those emotions and just release them. It's not that you have to go on that deep healing every time that stuff comes up. It's that you just need to feel it and then forgive it and allow it to walk away from it. Let go of it. Let go of it. Don't hold on to it. I think that you feel like things just aren't getting any better, and you're hoping for this new beginning for yourself, but you just feel like things aren't getting any better, and you need to go easy on this is a call for you just to go easy on yourself. Take a break from feeling like every time that you feel anything that it has to be like addressed and I got to work on this. And, we can get kind of obsessed with your healing process. Some of us, we can. And you wouldn't, you wouldn't constantly be in a place to where you're just training for that tournament or whatever, forever, your whole entire life, in that intensity of it, that building of it happening. It's too much. You have to have a rest. You have to have a break. You have to ground yourself. You have to relax. You have to enjoy yourself. You have to have all the other emotions too in life. I think with you guys, you overwork those emotions to heal. Sometimes you just have to feel. Sometimes you just need to feel them and acknowledge that they're still there. And whatever happened here, it doesn't mean that you're never going to cry about the mistakes that you made. You just feel like you just forgive yourself for making them in the first place. That's just being honest with yourself so that you can grow from it and move forward. But it doesn't mean that you're never going to cry over it again, Who knows? You could see something that reminds you of that. It's a memory, just like all your other memories, and those emotions come up. Okay, that was not where I was thinking that was going to go, but let's see what the Hermit in reverse is. The Moon in reverse. So it's almost like you have this, I feel like, guys, you're like, if I just knew the truth about it, I could just heal it and I could go on past it. You need to just trust what answers you do have and just focus on trusting those answers you do have. And sometimes that's hard because we intuitively feel like there's more to it. I know there's more to this. I just know there's more to this. But we're only holding ourselves back if we're constantly searching for the truth. You know what I mean? We're only holding ourselves back. And I think, Paul, too, that you just need to trust the answers that you do have so that you can move forward. Otherwise, you're going to continue to tell yourself that there's more. There's more. I know there's more. And that unknown is a part that can keep you sad forever. If you let it. Don't allow it. Why is the Four of Pentacles here? The Knight of Swords in reverse. I mean, to me, honestly, the only thing I'm seeing out of this with this High Priestess in reverse and the Four of Pentacles is someone that's not bringing forward some kind of truth. Someone that's set boundaries and they're not bringing forward the truth. And that's just leaving you stuck, isn't it? This is where you go off focus. This is what happens. If you feel like you're in this process and you're like, I'm doing good, I'm healing, I'm getting through this, and then you get to this point and you acknowledge that you feel like there's things that are not clear here, and if you just had these facts that you can move forward, this is what kind of throws you off. This is what kind of throws you off balance. Holding on to the fact that you don't have the full truth here is what throws you out of whack. Why is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse? Whoop. Oh, man. It's on the floor, guys. Hold on just a minute. I gotta move my chair. Oh, come here, card. Hang in there. Hang in there. The Page of Cups. Sorry about that noise, guys. My chair's loud. So, are you waiting on an apology? Are you waiting on that offer? Are you thinking that you needed to offer someone an apology? And you may be selfish because you're not doing that? I mean, these are all things that you're blaming yourself for. It's almost like you're looking at this going, this could go this way or that way. And one of these faces, she's looking right at death. The ending. Acknowledging the ending. And on the other side, she's looking outward into the unknown. I think that there's a call here that you need to just acknowledge the ending that took place here, and that be that truth that you carry, and move forward. And I know you're like, well, I've been trying to do that, but part of that has to do with blaming yourself, knowing that there were mistakes made on both parts here probably, and being able to push forward and move forward for yourself so that you can have this new beginning for yourself that you desperately want. Go easy on yourself, knowing that there's still going to be things that come up. Look at this, the Four of Cups. Allowing yourself to still have new opportunities, guys. Allowing yourself to still be loved and have love for yourself and for others. Being open to that. You have this disharmony here in your life with whatever happened here, where you reanalyze it over and over and over, and you keep kind of going back to this blame game, blaming someone else, blaming yourself. But the part that they're saying you need to kind of be clear on is that mistakes can be made, but you can't make a mistake as far as healing past this and getting to a calmer place. That possibility, that realization to have a rebirth in your life from this situation is there for you. It's right there for you. You know it. Letting go of the past and moving forward and growing out of this is right there for you. Every time you feel those emotions, it doesn't mean that I mean, if this is someone that you cared about and you love, it doesn't mean that you don't love them anymore. Doesn't mean you can't not love them anymore. It just means that you love yourself enough to put that sword down and say, enough is enough. I think I've beat myself up about this plenty. It's time to forgive so that I can free myself from this. Take the answers I do have and push forward for yourself. Okay, I'm going to get some of these to get more advice. And I'm going to pull some different cards for you guys I think that y'all might need here. If advice for call 2. Wisdom. Take the wisdom that you've gained so that you can move to a calmer place. All this has to do, I feel like, with you. You have the key to your success. You have the tools that you need to push forward. You already have the wisdom that you need. You already know you have the answers, guys. You have enough, okay? You know enough to be able to move yourself forward here. Thriving. Look at that. You've already reached this higher level of knowing. You already can connect here to the truth. Your truth. Your truth. Yeah, I made mistakes. Yeah, I could have done things differently. Maybe I made selfish decisions in the past. That's your truth. And move forward with that. We're never going to always get what we want from another person. You know, at some point in your life, you have to take the acknowledgement of what you do have and move forward for a new beginning for yourself. Or move forward from a bad situation. Move on, you know, to have freedom. To have freedom. You never know the things that come once you get to that place. You never know the opportunities, the doors that will open, things that will come to light when you get to that place. I want to get something for you guys that I didn't do for pile 1, but don't tell them, okay? If you're here from pile 1, hey. I didn't feel called. I feel called for y'all. Any advice that could help for pile 2, please, Spirit? Any advice that could help for pile 2? Okay. Oh, wow. This person was in your life to teach you a spiritual lesson. Spiritual lesson. This was a spiritual lesson that you grew from. Regret. Mistakes. Regret. Someone feels remorse for the way that they treated you. And they very well might. If this is another person that's here, they could feel remorse for the way they treated you. But that doesn't mean that they're going to come and tell you about it. You know? You just have to take care of yourself at this point. And these things that you regret in the past that maybe you didn't get to address, again, you have to take care of yourself here. Learn from those mistakes. You learned that lesson. And I told you have the tools. Anything else? Okay. Fate. Yeah. Whatever happened here was fated to happen, to teach you something. Integrity. Wow. Okay. To teach you about integrity. To teach you about where your values and morals lie. That situation that you were in, if you were getting out of a bad situation, release. Look at that. Radical acceptance and surrender can help you let go. Accepting that situation that you were in. Releasing that situation that you were in so that you can move forward. Strive forward. That was a situation that didn't align with you. I can tell you what definitely doesn't align with you, pile 2, is blaming yourself for your past. Okay. So you'll have 2 cards. I'm going to take them because the way they came out. I always take them if they come out, to be honest with you. If I have time, I will. This integrity here, though, this tower moment, this ending, took place here for you to figure out what you want to honor in yourself. What is it about yourself, about your situations that you want to honor? And being truthful to that, moving forward. This was a fated thing. You can't go back and change the past. You can only take that information and truth that you have moving forward. So we have with love. They want me to read this one first. You are magic. Dear you, what is true for you? Can you be impeccable with your word? Sure you can. As long as it's not used to manipulate others, the truth can set everyone free. Let go of the results. Let go of your fears and allow the truth to empower you and others. This will set into motion a kind of change that will be supportive of you and loving. That will be supportive of you and loving and all kinds of prosperous things. This is not a time to compromise and hide your truth from others. Whatever it is that you want, go for it and be clear in your motives, especially with yourself. You will be so happy that you did. This is a time where you will tap into the power to co-create and manifest your best life. Doesn't that feel amazing? And the results, miraculous. When you tell the truth and ask the same of others, you can learn a lot from life's beautiful, bountiful lessons and achieve your dreams. Love you always. This is like, this is kind of like, again, you carrying that truth of the answers that you do know, that you do have, and, moving forward with that truth. If you've been honest here with being truthful about your motives in a situation, okay? Don't blame yourself for kind of going back through and thinking, I want to highlight here where it says, as long as it's not used to manipulate others, the truth can set everyone free. It's almost like if you may be in a position to where you've worked too much, you've gone too deep, and now you're starting to feel like you're putting things on you that aren't true. Think about what your motives were in this situation. What were your actual motives? Were you ending the situation because it didn't align with you right? Didn't feel good? Were you moving towards the situation because it was in a loving way? You had love for that person or situation or thing or whatever it was? Where were you morally? What was your driving force there? Don't let anyone outside of you tell you that you did it for the wrong reasons, that you did it for this or that or whatever that is. Go with your answers, your internal truth, and stick with that moving forward and go with that moving forward. Don't let anyone else outside of you tell you that you did something in a negative way. Don't let that get to you, because that's where that blame comes in. Okay? Remember what your motives were to begin with. Okay. A little rant there. With love. Dear you, check in occasionally with yourself about your... Oh my gosh, that is insane. I swear to God, guys, I did not see this card. Dear you, check in occasionally with yourself about your motives behind actions you plan on taking, especially when you have an end game in mind. Is the source of your motivation desire or entitlement? So sorry, guys, my alarms just went off. Scared me to death. Okay, so check in occasionally with yourself about your motives behind actions that you plan on taking, especially when you have an end game in mind. Is the source of your motivation desire or entitlement? Maybe you're drawn to a certain path because that you think that it will bring you a feeling related to the outcome you seek, like safety or wholeness. Know that you will see a reflection in the outer world of the motive that drives you forward. Do you need a motive? Can you simply be pulled into a direction your soul calls you, towards joy, discovery, growth, or adventure, participating in something compelling or meaningful without trying to define it? If you can step towards surrender to whatever Spirit has in store for you, you will be amazed at how things turn out. Check your motives, then hand them over to Spirit. Everybody here wants the best for you. Life loves you more than you know. So, holy freaking cow. That is insane. I know I say that in every reading with those cards. I just love those cards so much. We're going to get some charms and initials to close. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, go back to what your motives were. Wow, guys. So we have the Sword of Truth. So if your motives were based off of love, that's the truth that you're looking for. That's the truth that's here. That's the truth that you can carry into the future, that can help you heal and to move forward. Okay? This is the Sword of the heart. What's the truth from the heart? Where was your heart leading to? I want to go back to this first card we started with, where it says, where is your heart guiding you? Where was your heart guiding you? And it's funny too on this card, because it says sometimes you don't have to have a motive, but what you're following, what you feel like, you know, something or your heart, your soul is calling you towards. So we have the wisdom here with the owl. This is the, y'all got all the good pens. So this is the owl that's up here. Listen to your higher self. Listen to your higher guidance here. Trust in that. There's a heavy deal of a message here of you trusting yourself. You may still be bound to this situation, or wound up to this situation in some sense. Maybe strings attached here. But this is something that you need to release yourself from, okay? This is something you can still move forward and press on with. Even if you feel right now that you're bound to something, you can always release yourself in a situation. At least that mental burden, right? Okay. So this is a special message here directly from the angels. You have someone here with you. Your spirit guides are with you. You may have a special angel that you pray with or pray towards to protect you. This is a love, and this is a signifying that you are protected here as well. So yeah, also that you may have a higher calling, or with fate being here, this was kind of fated. Everything that happened was kind of fated. It's something that you need to think about and remember. This to me is this Ace of Pentacles. I always see this as like an Ace of Pentacles. Knowing that you have new opportunities here for yourself, knowing that you can have new beginnings and prosperity here. This is here for you, okay? It's just right here. You just have to take it. You just have to take it. Okay. So let's see. So we have E-O. We have 𝕤𝕚𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤𝕤. There's cat. And you tried to get out of the bowl. We also have the 5. So 5 is that change that needs to take place. 5 is the loss maybe you've experienced with that death card there in the tower. 5 is like the huge, change. Maybe conflict even about mentally how things have kind of transpired here. We have mat in the bowl. Don't feel like a doormat. Holy cow. Mate. You could have felt like this some kind of soulmate connection here. What else? Kate. We have Kate. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Y'all's reading's already gone longer than pile 1. But these could be initials. These could say something or spell something out, especially for you. We have Nate as well. I'm spelling a lot of names for some reason. Okay. Me. Okay, guys, I'm gonna hold this up for y'all. So I hope you enjoyed this reading, guys. I hope this helps moving forward. Good luck to you guys. Yeah, that's all I have. So thanks for being here. Thanks, guys, so much for your love and your support and your kindness always. And hope to see you soon. Hey, Pile 3. Okay, so same day. It's been a couple hours since I did Pile 1 and 2, but I had to go to a football game, so I'm back. So let's get into this. Okay, so if you chose the key, obviously that this is kind of obviously representing a key to opportunity, you know, opportunity that you may have. This could actually look in the way of you kind of, I mean, it comes in the way of choices, maybe sitting in a decision. Maybe you have a key and you're kind of sitting on it, not sure if you're wanting to use the key or not. We are talking about situation, whatever situation you're in. And all of these piles kind of have the same kind of overall message of choices. A lot of you, I feel like, are just kind of sitting on choices and which choice to make. But the difference here for you, Pile 3, I feel, is that you actually have the key, is what they're telling you. You actually have the key to making this choice, sitting at this crossroads, if you want to commit, if you want to work on things. Wherever you are, it's almost like, even if this is a job and you're sitting in a place where you're trying to build something for yourself. It's like you're sitting at a place to where you actually have the key that you need already. It's within inside of you. You may just not be actually fully accessing it completely. Now, when that happens, fears and obviously get in the way of that, of us being able to fulfill our dreams. But this could be something that you're kind of working on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I also feel like, for some of you, you may be trying to figure out if you want to give to a situation or not, and you kind of got that opportunity. So you may have this opportunity here, and you're like, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to give into that. I don't know if that's the direction that I want to take. But you're definitely sitting at a crossroads, I can tell you that for sure. Okay, so let's see what cards we have here. I have not looked at these yet. They've been very synchronistic. I know some of you are going to go, she had to have looked at those, but I haven't actually looked at yours. But Pile 1 and 2 were very synchronistic. So let's see. Number 19, so that's the sun in tarot. Eliminate distractions. Stop shining light on things that you are not. How can you reclaim your power? So again, I want to bring back that story of working on something for yourself and how you get kind of things to get in the way of that. One of those is fear. You need to shine light like the sun. You need to shine light on the fact that you can be successful here and that you have that power, like it says. How can you reclaim that power that's inside of you? And stop shining light on those things that don't make sense. Stop shining light on places to what the old stories that you're telling yourself. You know, feeling even shameful about things. Not being able to really decide which choice you want to take here, because I think that there's I think that you're at battle with yourself, guys, to be honest with you. I think there's a side of you that says, you can do this. And then there's a side of you that says, but what if? And I think that you can do this seems to always kind of overtake the what if. But I also feel like it's causing this procrastination inside of your power that you hold within you. And they're saying to reclaim that, you have to shine light on what it is that's holding you back. Why are those things holding you back? Really, like, narrow it down. Write it down on paper if you have to. Fear. What am I afraid of? Make a list. I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of this. And then on the other side, make a list of other ways you could see that. Different way that you can see what that is holding you back. How can I look at this differently? Sometimes we're real visual. I'm very visual. I have to write things down. I have to look at them. And I think that's what makes this so, you know, why I can see things better, how I can read intuitively, because I have to be able to visualize it. And sometimes when I write things down and I can really look at it and identify it, I'm more capable of realizing it in my head. It's almost like a spark just goes off. And for you guys, part of tapping into what that is that I think that if you wrote down what the fears that you have are, and then also next to that put down what would be, how it would be successful. How could it be successful? My fear is I'm going to run into a problem. This is a huge obstacle. But a good way to look at that is, this is a great challenge for me to face now in the beginning instead of later on. So I need to work through this and figure this out. And boy, you know what? That's going to make me a lot more stronger on the other end, because now I've already faced this obstacle. I know how to deal with that. It won't slow me down in the future. See what I'm saying? You have to have that positive towards that negative, because the positive should overtake it. The sun is going to overtake the darkness, right? The positive is going to overtake those illusions, that moon energy. Okay, feelings. Emotions want to be felt. You really can't surrender something until you deeply feel it. Allow me, dear divine, to offer all emotions to you, feeling them fully so they no longer keep me captive. And it's interesting that it says to no longer keep you captive, and we have eliminate the distractions that are here. The distractions are those feelings that you feel. It's that fear that steps in. It's like the boogeyman. You know what I mean? Kind of steps in and says, boo. This is what you should be afraid of. You should be afraid of me. You kind of have to have that power inside of you that is already there. Access it so you can you can scare that boogeyman away, because your feelings of knowing that things are going to work out are so much bigger. Like the end game is so much bigger. The dream is so much bigger. You know what I mean? And these feelings that you have, this is what one of the messages is here that you need to focus on. The feelings that you have about whatever this is that you want to do. Those feelings are there for a reason. They're wanting you to address those fears. Because when you address your fear and you mentally process through that and you can override it, you know, it's not that this is the issue. I think that you've been seeing fear and saying, no, don't go there. Don't think about it. Don't do that. No, that's not the way to handle it. You have to look at that fear and you have to look at it and say, oh my gosh, that's scary. It's good. This is really freaking me out. This is really going to be scary. What if I lose everything? What if they laugh at me? You know, what if it doesn't work out right? It's like that person that's starting to get on stage. And you see all that. You have to address it and say, that could happen. That could happen. But I'm willing to take the chance. I want to take the chance on it. Do you know why? Because it could go so good too at the same time. You have to change your mindset. It's really, it's teaching your feelings and your thoughts to work together. And that's how come you see people just excel. You know, they have a lot of success in their life. This is why. I feel like it's leaning more towards also, you know, manifestation. That's the way that you can kind of manifest, is you kind of almost acknowledge those feelings first. Everything's together as a unit. You know, think of your body and your heart, your head, your intuition, you know, your higher self. All this stuff is working together as a unit instead of working against each other. You just have to make sure you have the screws in the right place. That's all. You have to make sure it just makes sense, you know, in your head. You have to figure that part out first. You have the tools. You just have to make it work. I'm tired. I feel like I just channeled the crap out of that. And now I'm exhausted and I need to go take a nap. I also feel like I lectured y'all too, so I'm sorry if it came across that way. I don't know what it is. I'm tapping into one of my spirit guides that's really bossy. Been bossy since the beginning, and they're really having it out for you, pile 3. I knew pile 3 was going to be this pile. I knew it. When I laid the cards out, I could feel it. You know, you can feel the energies of the cards, even if you're not seeing what the cards say or anything like that. You can feel it. And boy, pile 3, you had it. You had that power. Okay. So this is the Dream Keepers Tarot, and we're going to use this to kind of take a better look at what they're actually wanting you to focus on. So I want to say for most of you, a lot of this is coming out in like some kind of career or working together with something, or putting together something. But for some of you, this could actually look in the way it's just you taking a leap towards a relationship, towards, you know, engaging in something for that you've kind of been hoping and wishing for in your life. Kind of actually embarking in that, kind of taking that risk and stepping into that, whatever that is. So that could be a relationship, that could be a job, that could be, you know, it's just a major transition in your life. Okay, so the Queen of Swords in reverse, the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups to me is talking about what we kind of discussed about the emotional aspect of it, and you actually moving something forward, you know, coming forward, or developing even a new skill or learning something new. You know, it's like your emotions are attached to this. This is kind of, to me, again, this thought process of what kind of needs to kind of die out, something that you've already kind of really evolved from. It's almost like you are, some of you may be feeling like you haven't really learned all the lessons you needed to, and that's okay, because you're going to continue to learn new lessons every time a mistake is made. You know, look at a mistake like an advancement. So what I mean by that is if you're going through something and you're learning something new, right? And you're studying it and going through that process. If you reach a mistake, if there's a mistake made, it almost kind of makes you smarter. Let me give you an example so you understand what I'm saying. I used to be a bookkeeper, and when I would go through and find numbers that didn't add up, that was the mistake. And honestly, it's just like, well, there goes your day, you know, because you have a mistake there. You got to figure out where that mistake was made. Is a number off? Am I missing something? You know, whatever it is. But I found myself that if a mistake was made, I could go back through that in detail. So I got to where I would have to redo my work almost every time. You know, I have to redo this again to figure out where this is. And I would do it again and go back through and redo it again and go back through. I figured out the more I would do that, what I was doing was actually training myself. But it was an advancement, an advanced train, because I had to get through that to get to my next project, right? My next obstacle, right? So it was like an advancement. It was like a speed learning lesson, let's say that. Look at mistakes like that. That's what a mistake is. It's a challenge, it's just a speeding lesson. Okay, so Spirit's testing me here. It's time for me to show my skills. I got 60 seconds. Let's do this. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Okay. The Hanged Woman in reverse. So you may feel like you just keep repeating the same pattern over and over. That might be a struggle. Or you may find yourself stalling. You might find yourself sitting in a place and overthinking things because of this fear that's hanging over your head. Let me keep going. The Temperance. Look at that. Balancing itself out. Balancing yourself out. And it's funny too, because on this Temperance, this bird that's here in between is the one that's holding the heart. I'm getting a message here for some of you. If you're in trying to move towards some sort of relationship here, you're putting pieces of this other person together about if this person really fits with you or not, if this situation could really fit into place or not. And again, you have the key here. you have the missing piece here, and it's sitting right here where her gut kind of is. You know, for me, it's sitting right here where the intuitive part of you is. There's a message here that you need to pay more attention to the intuitive part, and all these distractions of fears and anxieties that you're having here is what's keeping you from being able to put that final piece into place. And that could pertain to your feelings and how you really truly feel about this person. And that might be a fear that you need to address. Why that's there. Fearing investing emotionally in something here. Why is that there? It's the missing piece here, you know. It's inside of you. You just have to find it. And you have to have that heart before the engine works. You know. There's a different message here with this Hanged Man in reverse. It's the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. See the way that immediately just slipped over my hand, like, yes, and here it is. Because I kept looking back. That's why I kind of moved forward. I kept looking back at this thinking there's another kind of message that needs to come out of that. Because it's the Hanged Man, which is, well, Hanged Woman here. You know, you may feel like you are not on solid ground, and that might be one of your fears, one of your worries. So there may be something to do in this situation that's very unsteady, which makes it even amped up more if you want to take an opportunity here for yourself. Take this opportunity that you have, and there's the opportunity, by the way, with the key with the Ace of Pentacles. But really, for you, I think, guys, it's like turning this into reality is the key here, is the big deal. But if you're in a situation that seems even more unstable, more chaotic, let's say that, and really taking an honest leap here, and on a big thing, and it's less of a learning thing. I think for you guys, the group I'm talking to right now, has more to do with your headspace, and you learning through your mind, like what you're missing there, you know, about this person here that's here. How to tune into your intuition. Has maybe to do with trusting yourself, trusting this person, trusting your knowing if you can trust the situation, trust them or not. And that's the unshakiness, unsteadiliness that's kind of happening there. And that's what's keeping you unable to be able to really let go and break yourself free from this pattern. What they're saying here is that that's just like I said with the list of fears, that's something that you need to address. Trust. Why is it that you don't trust this person? And in them, if they trusted you fully, what would that be like? If you could trust this person, what would that be like? That's interesting, because when you write down that list, I guarantee you that everything that mostly is on your side, hopefully, anyway, is going to be a reaction for you. It's going to come from you. I don't trust this person because I've been betrayed in the past. I don't trust this person because I feel like there's something off with them. Think in there, every time you write a statement, okay? How many times you have I in there? Because they'll show you where you need to focus. And sometimes I think that we may focus on other people and focusing on what they need to change, what's going on with them, something about them. But we need to turn that back around on ourselves, because that's the key. That's the key. I mean, you can sit there all day and say, at the end of the day, fully, honestly, guys, you can put your full faith and trust into somebody. But that's a leap of faith. That's taking a risk, regardless of anybody. It's taking a risk. Because number one, we're all evolving. All evolving. And just because you trust them now or they trust you now doesn't mean you will in the future. They could change. We all change. Hopefully, hopefully, if you're doing it right, you're changing. You know, you're growing, you're evolving. And sometimes you just have to take that risk just to take it, because the outcome's better. What you need to do is better. The dream is better. Facing that fear of what you want in the moment. Okay. So why is the Queen of Swords here? The Ten of Wands. So there's the burden. There's the burden. We knew it was here. We knew we were going to see a 10 as well, because I think that you're trying to complete this cycle. You may feel stressed out, overloaded with how other people are even seeing you here, or maybe how you're seeing yourself. You may be in a position to where every time you make a mistake, or every time you don't learn something from your past, you feel like that's another burden on your back. But again, you're just looking at this all wrong. Now, if this is a person, this Queen of Swords, which is Libra energy, by the way, then this person you may feel has left you in the cold, cut you out, cut you off, been cold-hearted to you, or you've been like that towards this person. And coming back in with the Page of Cups, you know, that's an apology, by the way, but coming back in with some sort of offer, even if it doesn't come out as an apology, sometimes you offer a gesture, but it could be like an apology. You just don't say the words. Some people need those words. I focus more on energy. If you feel like you're being sympathetic and you want to compromise, then okay. But some people need to hear it. And you may feel as if that's the burden that you're carrying. You know, that coldness that you feel from this person, or that you've left them out in the cold. Okay. For others of you, this is just learning those lessons and how other people may be preceding you. You know, how they're looking at you while if you make a mistake, and that's a heavy burden on you. Page of Cups. Of course, we want to prove that we can do things right? We want to prove that we can make things happen for ourselves, especially if you're talking about a career or something to that nature that you're taking a risk on. You want to almost prove to everyone else that you're doing the right thing. This Four of Pentacles that's here with this Page of Cups, I mean, I have to say, this Four of Pentacles has the scale on here. You have the head with the book, the knowledge, and the mask on one side, and then the tree on the other. You've already planted roots here with either someone or some kind of idea. And again, that learning and maybe even taking off your mask with this other person is both something that you're trying to weigh out. I already have this investment that's here, and in order to make things balance themselves out, I have to learn more, or I have to take my mask off. I have to be real with myself. I have to address these emotions that I feel. And then you may be kind of sitting on this idea of how these two different things can work out. There's a whole lot of message here about balance. Of course, we do have Temperance, but about balance and you being able to see the negative and the positive aspects to this so that you can balance things out. Head over heart decision probably for some of you. Okay, so Temperance. The Two of Pentacles in reverse. Well, hilarious. So that's what I was talking about here with this. He's standing on these two pentacles here, right? And then the reason I laughed is because the Temperance is about balance. I mean, they're telling you what you need to do here, right? The Two of Pentacles is saying, yeah, you're out of balance. Yep, you sure are. You're out of balance. You're either disorganized, you're overcommitted somewhere, and that's keeping you from being able to be flexible, right? In your mindset, I'm sure. Even though that we're talking about pentacles here, you may be trying to figure out how to stabilize, you know, things around you, all these pentacles that are here. You're only missing the 3, which is the number of growth, and working with everything, which is funny because the one thing I got from this was the Three of Pentacles. These 3 diamonds here remind me of the 3 of Pentacles on here. That's why I talked a lot about you working with someone or with something. Having things working with you, for your benefit. Just like fear, we can turn that around. You know, we can change that into excitement. We can change that into, instead of being fearful about taking that leap, excited to take that leap for what's to come. All these things are like, for me, you finding that balance internally. It's funny too, because there's a live bird on her head and a dead one. So again, and look at her head, it's in her heart, it's in her gut. Isn't that crazy? Funny too, because all the amount of balance I'm seeing is insane. I'm going to show y'all what I'm looking at. First off, all this is about balance. It's crazy. You have the cup here, and you have the roots here, right? The cup and the roots, okay. So the emotions that we talked about, and then planting something on the ground, stabilizing yourself. And then here you have the masculine and the feminine energies, both standing here, both with these pentacles. One is on the decision. So that masculine energy would be you taking that leadership role and making that choice for yourself to stabilize and secure what it is that you're wanting here. And then the Ace of Pentacles here, her standing on this flower and then allowing it to grow, taking that opportunity to allow that to kind of grow and take place and be, you know, like that number 3, be birthed into the world, like that idea that's inside of you, whatever that is. And then here you have these 2 here. Now remember, I'm focusing on all the balance that I'm seeing. So the masculine, feminine we got. And then you have here this person that's looks like they're hanging upside down, and this one's hanging upside down, but together they're in balance. Then you have these 2 individuals here, which is temperance, which is all about that's, you know, balance, making something realistic, having one foot on the ground and having one foot in that dream and that what, you know, whatever it is that you want there, or having hope or future or faith that the future is going to look good and bright. So crazy, the amount of balance that I feel. It's funny too, because I was thinking, yeah, we have 2 and 4, those are balanced numbers, and then I saw this ace here, and I thought, well, that's a single, and then I saw 10, and you put those together, and it's 11, so there you go. Lots to do with balance. If this is a relationship, you may feel like you and this person have a lot of differences, and that's something that you're having a hard time stabilizing. For some of you, you may even feel like this person may be a little bit more mature, more knowledgeable, more experienced, more something, and you're trying to kind of balance yourself and get to their level. That's something that's kind of hindering you're distracting you in some kind of way. Okay, 10 of Wands, the Knight of Wands in reverse. So there's the procrastination. This is that frustration that you feel every time that you think about this burden that you're carrying, right? You know, the Knight of Wands is usually someone that just goes for it. And that's what funny, because we've been talking about that. In reverse, he's very hesitant. He's very scattered, and sometimes can be very mad, you know, upset because with himself even because of this burden that he's carrying, these wands that he's carrying. This is someone that was a real trooper in the beginning and was like, this sounds great. I'm going to do it. Give me all the wands that you have. I can carry all of them. Just give them to me. I got this. You know, and the further he gets along, now he's in this position where he's going, this was a bad idea. These wands are too heavy. Why did I take on this burden? Why did I do this to myself? And it's causing delays. It's causing anger towards yourself. It's causing frustration. These are all distractions. And they're wasting your energy. They're wasting your energy, really. I'll tell it like I do my kids. If you just keep going, we would get there. If you just keep going, we'll get there. Just put your head down and keep walking and we'll get there. You know, every time we go walk somewhere and they're like, it's taking forever. And I'm like, the more you complain, the slower it's going to be. This is what I'm seeing here, guys. Okay, so 4 of Pentacles. Sorry, I'm a mom, so it comes out sometimes in my reading. Look at that, the sun in reverse. So we started this reading with that number 19, which is the sun. And I told you, you need to look at the light. You need to look at the light. I feel like you struggle with being overly optimistic, making a bad decision, and then it's setting you back. You know, like you get to that point where maybe in the beginning, that's what you felt. You're like, maybe I was just way too optimistic. Then you think that knight's telling himself that now? I'm sure. It's like, I was way too optimistic in the beginning of this. I should have been more mentally prepared for this, and I wasn't. And this is part of the lesson. So there you go. Stop holding on to that. That's how you can balance this out and help you move forward. Ace of Pentacles. Look at that. It just flipped itself around when it landed. It's great. 8 of Wands. This is that progress. This is that Ace of Pentacles, 8 of Wands. This is you quickly moving in a new direction if you can break yourself free from this repetitive cycle. You keep repeating the same thing. If you can't adapt to it, it's always going to be like this. You're never going to get this. And this is where you want to go. For some of you, this could come in the way of communicating what it is that you want. Communicating this new opportunity. But if you keep kind of getting to this point to where you start to kind of doubt yourself, or you start to hang on to mistakes in the past or those fears or distractions, then and you're going to keep repeating that. You're never going to get to this point here. So again, next is balance, balancing that out. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. The 7 of Cups in reverse. Trust your gut. That's, holy cow, that's crazy. Bottom of the deck is the 6 of Wands in reverse. Not acknowledging that you can be successful here, guys. That's the number one big thing we started with. How can you reclaim your power? The 3 of Wands in reverse. I mean, there's that delay, frustration, obstacle, all that stuff. Feeling powerless. And this is, you know, how can you reclaim that power? You can be successful here. You just have to believe it in yourself that you can. This 7 of Cups is so funny here because I talked about how her head was in her gut. And here you have the 7 of Cups, which is in reverse, which to me is like trusting in your gut when you make a decision, trusting in your gut when you make a choice, trusting in your own intuition and where it's leading you, feeling those feelings. You know, we don't think about this, but what if Spirit was like, let's make them fearful? That's the emotion they need. They need to be afraid so they can build up some courage. What if they did? What if it wasn't you that was doing it to yourself? What if Spirit was doing it to you to help you grow, to make you strong? You know, there's that saying that everything I've been through, it's made me stronger. Well, it can. It's not that you've been through those things and it's made you stronger. It's that you've learned through those things and you've evolved through those things and you've understood them and you've had that introspection take place. That's what's made you stronger. If you just continue to be hard on yourself, oh, I made a mistake, and you're hard on yourself, and oh, I made a mistake, and you're hard on yourself, you're not learning that there. You really need to break yourself free from that pattern, because if you do, you're going to be able to just go, I mean, it's going to come in so quick. You're not even going to know what to do with yourself. You're going to be like, holy cow. I remember that reading I had from that girl. She told me that's all I needed to do. Okay, so let's get some, what do we need? What do we need? Let's see here. Curious what would happen since that, look at that, the key. Crazy, isn't it? Since basically this whole reading for you guys was about advice, I want to see what the future holds. But before we do that, let's grab some of these. Sometimes I want to do things my way, and then they're like, no. So I want to pull some of these for advice moving forward, even though we already went through all that. Apparently there's still more for you to see. Now they're throwing cards at me. Embracing, this came out in pile 2. Then embrace it. Embracing that fear, I feel like, is a really big part. Embracing these feelings is a really big part for you to be able to have that sun come through that darkness. Standing strong here is a big thing for you. Acknowledging your strength is a big thing that can also help you move forward. Taking things as a challenge and not just an obstacle. Healing chaos. So for some of you, you may be in a position where you have the key to healing some sort of chaos that's taking place here. And with the sun there shining light on things here, to move things forward, to have new opportunities in your life, and that's that blockage for you. And this could look in the way of even forgiveness. Look at that, stillness. If there's someone here that you left out in the cold, a soulmate even perhaps, with this being the swan, swan's mate for life, then you have all the colds around him here. If this is someone that you've left out in the cold here, and I know I just cut myself off, but this person's in this stillness energy. They're in this peaceful place. If this is something that you've been trapped in your head about because of the lack of knowing how this thing is going to kind of turn out in the end, and not knowing if balance would be a possibility here, this person is in a still peaceful place for themselves. I don't think that you're going to come on to this person in any kind of way that's, delight. I don't think you're going to come on to this person in a way that's going to throw them off balance. I think that this person's in a still place with whatever special message. But healing chaos reminded me of that. And this is totally tower energy. But you notice how there's butterflies here? If you can heal this chaos, these distractions, all this stuff that's going on internally, then you'll be able to transform in a good way. Have that tornado work for your benefit. Have it come around and pick up all this crap that's in your head. It's keeping you blocked. Okay, so let's see possibilities for moving forward. How about that? Possibilities for express. So some of you do need to express yourself here, or it's time to have a heart-to-heart conversation. That's the 8 of Wands for me, and that opportunity is there. Just get yourself unstuck here. Take yourself off that tree for a minute so that you can figure things out and move forward with what you know. And then the others of you, this is just having this heart-to-heart kind of to yourself and not being so hard on yourself moving forward. Safe. It has to be safe for you to love. There's a message here in as far as making decisions, especially about career or growing something. You have this thing about you where this is a wound here, I feel, okay? Even with the other situation. You have to feel safe. That happens when we've been through a lot of circumstances that have been sprung on us, and they come on abruptly, like where everything's going good, and all of a sudden your world's destroyed. That's a trauma wound, and a way for us to feel better about making decisions is we have to analyze that situation so that we feel safe in that situation. We wouldn't put ourselves somewhere we don't feel safe. That's kind of a good thing. You need to learn how to set up your, boundaries, obviously. But as far as taking risks go, that can really hinder your ability to grow. Because you're constantly trying to make sure that you're safe. In some situations, you just can't be. When you're fulfilling a dream, there's risks that are going to have to take place. When you're wanting to connect with someone that's, or open up with your emotions, that's a risk that you have to take. But there's beauty in that unknown area. You just have to focus on that part of it. And that's what this whole reading is about. But there may be things in your past that you could go back and kind of maybe need to address and heal past that would definitely help you to overcome these fears and these distractions that you have. there's some kind of radical change that you may have experienced in your life, and you've never really addressed it. It needs to be kind of addressed here. Or if you have, you need to go back. There's more there that you're going to learn. When we evolve and grow in our healing process, even if we go back and we think we're done with something, sometimes it comes back up. Because it's coming back up, you're in a different stage in your healing. So you can go back and address it, and you may see things in a different way than what you're seeing them now. And that's what might be the key to help you to move forward, okay? Gain knowledge, use your intuitions to see the answers, and there's no coincidences. It's sitting right on top of this. 7 of Cups in reverse, which I said is like trust your gut, and then here you have this 2 of Pentacles in reverse where her head is in her stomach. So there you go. Trusting in that intuition is a big part of this. The risk is you trusting in your intuition. That's what's going to lead you in the right direction. Look at that. Challenges. Absolutely. Okay, so let's get some, I guess we'll just go on to a postcard from Spirit, guys, and then we'll get some charms and initials. Y'all's reading was very different, I feel. The energy is very different from pile 1 and 2. It was a lot more fast-paced. I feel like I was tapping into a different kind of guide. The energy, even I feel like the way I'm addressing things is different. Interesting. Well, we're going to take that one that had to fly itself right over there. I'm anxious to read this because it says celebrate life on here. Yeah. That's another thing. You're not really celebrating life to the fullest. You know, you're not really... I always try to tell myself when I'm making some kind of decision is, oh, I don't know if I should do this. Maybe this is a bad decision. And then I think, Holly, this is the only life you have right now. You know what I mean? Why not do it now? Like, what are you waiting for? Until you get older? I mean, come on. Just go for it. Who's to say you can't reinvent yourself as many times as you want in one lifetime? Experience life to the fullest. But all of that takes such a risk, doesn't it? Hence, celebrate life. Okay. Oh, I love this card. It's so pretty. I love all the blue and pink and purple. Dear you, uncertainty is the new normal for the whole world. Yes, we're all feeling it. Things are changing at a rapid pace, and the old ways that you once trusted are no longer reliable. But leaving the familiar behind can be a good thing. When you are pushed to step into the unknown, you are pulled forward into discovering new possibilities that have been hiding in plain sight. Like that key, it's inside of you. Sorry guys, lost my place. Check in with your higher self. Your soul knows better than your small self. Have faith in the support of the higher power and the infinite potential for your life. Right now, the advice that we have for you is this. Try something new. Do something different. You won't know how it feels, what it looks like, and what the outcome will be if you do not take the first step into the unknown and experience the unfamiliarity. I'm grinning ear to ear, guys. This card is crazy. Y'all be so glad that you did, because the treasure will appear. We're so proud of you for being brave. You are so loved and so supported. Oh my gosh, guys. Not only do I just love this card and everything that it says, but it just completely embodies this whole entire reading. It's just so insane to me how that all is just kind of, it's like a puzzle. It's just this fit overall as a message for you guys. And it's, as a reader, that's awesome. As a reader, that is awesome. Okay, so let's get some charms here. So interesting. You have all the tools you need, guys. Look at this. You have, oh my gosh, I'm going to tell you how crazy this is. These are all the tools you need. You have your wand, right? Your staff here, your power. You have the shovel, so the ability to put the work into it, right? So to me, this would be like a pinnacle. because of the treasure that's on here. The staff, the shovel would be representing the wand, right? So you putting in that work, this could even actually be like you kind of digging deep to find that power, you know? And then you have the sword of truth. Look at that. So you already have the truth here. You already have the tools that you need. The only thing that you're missing, feelings. You're missing the feelings. You're missing putting that puzzle piece into what it is that you want to achieve. Facing those feelings dead on, like what we talked about. Cutting through the BS, you know, and picking up this staff and saying, let's do this. I got my shovel, I got my sword, I'm ready for battle, right? So funny to me. The sword is also representing communication, which is something that came up with Express. So clarity needs to be delivered in a good way here, is something that they're wanting to say. You already know how to be clear about what it is that you want. You just need to put the actual action into that and know that you have some power here, okay, to make things happen for yourself. We have the fossil. So again, this is like a cycle. This may be something that you feel like you've kind of sat on for a really long time. Like it's time for this change to take place. I said that in the beginning where you may have let some time go by here, and this is kind of just another indicator of that to me. We also have, and this came out the other day in a reading, home and garden party. So this may be part of an idea that you have. It could have to do with your home. It could have to do with even, maybe this reading's about starting a garden. Or maybe it's about investing in someone or something, you know? But looking at that as a party, looking at it as that, again, that celebration that of life, like this talks about, that excitement instead of fear. Okay, so let's get some initials to close. I don't feel like there's very many. I want to get some more. I feel called. I'm going to grab some more. Okay, that's better. So we have M-Y, so there's my idea. A, J, P, N. We have nap. Maybe this is about you getting more naps in the day. We also have X sitting at that crossroads. We have A, axe. You may be afraid of getting the axe. We have S-W-E, A-A-S, C is here, C's. And this may have something to do with you traveling or having to, you know, take that action like we talked about, moving somewhere to do this. We have war. Guys, I'm getting a really weird message here about someone that may be actually wanting to, you know, join the armed forces here, travel across so that they can travel across seas. Just think about that. That's what they're saying with my nap. Sit on it for a little bit. Special message. Let's see what else we have here. We have seer. You know, kind of get rid of whatever it is, or whatever that idea that you have is permanent, right? It's permanent. So if you can't get rid of it, there's a reason it's still there. You need to really act on it. It's the only way to get rid of it. We have W-A, maybe significant to somebody. We have sun. Yay. We have the sun here. No surprise there. Sure. We have wax. Okay, guys. I guess I'm going to leave y'all here since my little one just came up and got in here. He was taking a nap. So here we go. These are all the initials. So I hope you enjoyed this reading, guys. You're going to have to let me know about this one. I feel like this one was channeled a little bit different than the others. But I hope that it definitely helps you guys moving forward. I hope you got some good advice out of this and direction. And yeah, and that's all I have. Thanks for being here. Thanks, guys, for your love and your comments. And if you've commented on my videos, I will go back, and if I don't miss you, I promise you I'll go back and answer your comments. I try to do that like all at once. So anyway, so yeah, I will, promise. And if you write me an email, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll also do that on the same day. So yeah, I will return your emails and stuff. If you have gotten a personal reading from me and you email me back, I promise you I will email you. I just haven't had a chance, okay? I haven't had a time. And when y'all email me your stories and stuff, I like to really sit down and connect with y'all and really return that email back to you and that connection instead of just doing something quick. I like to take time. You know, I learn as well through you guys. I like to take time when it comes to that. And I can do that now because I don't have that many subscribers. So, yeah, so it's not that overwhelming, but I do have to have the time to do that. And I'm really busy. But anyway, I promise I'll get to you. So that's all I have. Thanks for your love. Thanks for your kindness and your support always. And I hope to see you guys soon.